Hi, it's Miss Landis here, and today we are finding equivalent fractions using division. So we have learned how to find equivalent fractions using multiplication. You can also find equivalent fractions using division. And this skill works especially if you're finding an equivalent fraction for a fraction that has a large numerator or denominator. We can make that fraction smaller and put it in its simplest form using division, possibly taking it down to a unit fraction. Now, just as a review, the reason that we multiply fractions by the same number on the top and the bottom is because that makes it equal to 1. So in the example 2/9, if we were to find an equivalent fraction using multiplication, we would put the same number on the top and the bottom because 4/4 is equal to 1. So that's going to give us a fraction that is the same and worth the same amount, just using different numbers. 2 times 4 is 8, and 9 times 4 is 36. So 8/36 is equivalent to 2/9 because we kept the same number on the top and the bottom. It's the same thing as 1. 4/4 is equivalent to 1 whole. You can do this same process using division. Let's say we were given 8/36 and we had to find an equivalent fraction. We could use division and then find a common factor. So common factors would be two factors that these numbers have in common. So we're looking for a common factor. Is there any number that I can divide 8 and 36 by? Thinking about my factors of 8, I know that 2 times 4 is 8, and I know that 9 times 4 is 36. So I can divide both of those numbers by 4 and then get a fraction in its more simple form with smaller numbers in the numerator and denominator. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. So here you can see the relationship between those two equivalent fractions. The most important thing that you're going to be looking to do is to find a common factor. Find a common factor. Find a factor that is the same between the numerator and denominator of the fraction that you are given. So if we have 2/4, a very simple fraction, we can use division to find a equivalent fraction. What can I divide 2 and 4 by? Do they have a common factor? Well, I know that 2 divided by 2 equals 1 because 1 times 2 equals 2. 1 and 2 are 2's only factors. It is a prime number. 4 can be divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 equals 2 because 2 times 2 equals 4. So that is our common factor here, 2. We can divide 2 by 2, and we can divide 4 by 2 in order to find an equivalent fraction. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. Finding common factors might be a little bit challenging if you're not good with your multiplication facts. You need to practice your facts in order to get better at finding common factors. So we'll do one more example, and then I'll put up some extra credit problems that if you complete, you can turn into me, and I will add extra credit to your math grade. Another example, let's find a common factor to use division to get an equivalent fraction using 3/9. Some people might see instantly. I know that 3 times 3 gives me 9. So I know that I can divide the numerator by 3 and the denominator by 3 in order to come up with 1/3 as my equivalent fraction. I was dishonest. I'll do one more example with you using larger digits in the numerator and the denominator to find a common factor and use division to get an equivalent fraction. Let's do 21/30ths. I'm thinking, what do those two numbers have in common? In the multiplication and division relationships that I can think of, what times something gives me 21? What can I multiply together to get 30? I'm thinking of my facts. Well, 21 doesn't have many factors. Its only factors are 1, 21, 3, and 7. Okay, I know I can divide 30 by 3, and I can divide 21 by 3. 21 divided by 3 equals 7, and 30 divided by 3 equals 10. Therefore, 21/30ths is equivalent to 7/10. My best advice here is to study your facts, go on reflex math at home to get better. Here are some that you can try. So try these at home using division to find an equivalent fraction, and I'll give you extra credit. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in class.